Ladies, listen up. Today, we're going to talk about 5 things a woman should always keep to herself when it comes to her man. Now, I know we've been told that honesty is the best policy, but some things are just better left unsaid. This isn't about playing games, it's about protecting yourself and maintaining the mystery that keeps a man interested. A woman must always hide certain things from a man, and one of the most crucial aspects to keep hidden is the details of his past mistakes. Let's face it, men mess up. They make decisions that, in hindsight, they wish they could take back. But constantly reminding him of his errors, that's a surefire way to undermine the relationship. Everyone has a history, and a relationship is about moving forward, not living in the past. When a man makes a mistake, it's important to deal with it constructively. Sure, you can express how his actions made you feel, but dragging out every little misstep he's made over the years doesn't do anyone any good. Reminding him of past mistakes only keeps the wounds fresh and doesn't allow for healing. It also positions you in a place where you're holding his mistakes over his head like some kind of weapon. This isn't healthy for the relationship, and it doesn't allow either of you to truly grow together. It's about forgiveness, true, honest forgiveness, and that means not bringing up his past failures every time you have an argument or when he does something wrong. If you truly want to build a strong relationship, there needs to be a clean slate for both of you. Women often feel the need to bring up the past to prove a point, but that only leads to unnecessary drama. If you want to move on from a situation, leave the past where it belongs, in the past. Don't drag it into every conversation, because every time you do, you're stopping both of you from growing and evolving as a couple. Moreover, when a woman constantly revisits his past mistakes, it can lead to resentment and frustration. He might feel like he'll never be able to escape his past no matter how hard he tries. Instead of focusing on what he did wrong, focus on how he's improving or making amends. This approach builds trust and allows both partners to feel that they can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or punishment for their previous actions. Another thing women should hide from their men is the constant flow of thoughts running through their minds. It's a known fact that women tend to overthink. We analyze, dissect, and examine everything that happens in a relationship. But letting him know every single thing you're thinking at any given moment is not always necessary. We don't need to unload every little concern, worry, or fleeting thought onto him. Sometimes the more we talk about every minor detail, the more we can overwhelm the person we're with. They might feel burdened, even though it's not the intention. Having a constant stream of thoughts doesn't need to be shared constantly. Yes, open communication is essential in a relationship, but oversharing can sometimes harm more than help. Not every thought needs to be voiced immediately, and there's a fine balance between sharing and oversharing. You don't need to tell him every little thing that's bothering you or every opinion you have about something. It's okay to keep some things to yourself. The mystery behind your thoughts keeps the relationship exciting and allows him to wonder, to ask, and to engage in deeper conversations about things that truly matter. By hiding a bit of what's going on in your head, you keep the conversation and the relationship fresh. Men appreciate a woman who has her own world, her own set of dreams and desires. Being too open all the time about every thought can make it feel like there's no mystery. Keeping some thoughts hidden will allow him to respect you more, as he'll see you as someone who doesn't just live to discuss every detail with him. It keeps the dynamics of the relationship in a place where both partners feel they're constantly learning more about one another. Without mystery, the spark fades. Another crucial thing to keep hidden from a man is your financial situation. This is one of those areas where too much transparency can hurt the dynamic of a relationship. While it's important to have financial discussions and share your goals, you don't have to lay out every detail of your bank account for him. The more independent you remain financially, the more you are respected for your achievements. A man doesn't need to know exactly how much money you have or how much debt you're in. It's not about deception, but about maintaining a level of control over your own finances and not giving him the power to control your spending or financial decisions. Maintaining financial independence can be empowering. Women often feel pressure to disclose every financial move to their partner, but keeping your financial life to yourself while still being open about your general goals can create a sense of stability and self-reliance. It shows him that you are in control of your own life and that independence is attractive. Men respect women who don't need to rely on them for everything, including financial stability. It's a delicate balance, being open about your ambitions but not feeling the need to prove to him how much money you have or don't have. When it comes to finances, there should be a healthy balance between being transparent and maintaining independence. If a woman becomes too dependent on a man financially or feels like she must share every financial decision with him, it can lead to power imbalances or resentment. On the other hand, keeping too much hidden can also cause trust issues, so it's about finding the right line to walk. But the key is, you don't need to lay all of your financial life bare for him to see. Keep some details private. Also, another thing that can be hidden from a man is your vulnerabilities. While it's important to be open and honest in a relationship, it's equally important not to reveal every moment of weakness. Women often feel like they need to share their deepest vulnerabilities to form a connection. However, this constant display of weakness can affect how your man sees you. No one wants to be in a relationship where their partner always needs help or feels fragile. Strength is something that is often admired, and sometimes it's important to show your partner that you can handle life's challenges independently. Being vulnerable is important in a relationship, but you shouldn't wear your vulnerabilities like a badge. You can share your fears, but there's a time and place for everything. Always showing your weaknesses can lead to your partner feeling overwhelmed or even unprepared to support you. It's crucial to balance being open with being strong. When you show him that you can take care of yourself, it builds his respect for you and helps you maintain a sense of self-worth. Lastly, it's vital for women to hide some of their personal dreams and ambitions from a man. This doesn't mean you should lie or pretend like you don't have goals. It's about keeping some of them private. Women often feel the need to share their every dream with their partner, but sometimes keeping those dreams to yourself allows you to have a sense of individuality. A woman who is constantly talking about her dreams and ambitions can sometimes create a feeling of pressure on her partner. It's important to pursue your goals, but it's just as important to maintain that personal space. When you keep some of your dreams hidden, it gives you room to grow independently. Men are attracted to women who have their own lives and are constantly seeking validation. Keeping some of your personal goals to yourself creates a sense of independence that can be incredibly empowering. It also prevents your partner from feeling like he's in competition with your ambitions, allowing him to support you in a healthy way rather than feeling overshadowed. A woman's mind is constantly active, filled with thoughts and emotions that may range from worries about her relationship to her career, her family, or even the tiniest of daily tasks. Women tend to overthink more than men, and that's a natural part of how they process the world around them. However, not every single thought needs to be communicated to a man, especially when it's not constructive or necessary for the relationship. Sometimes it's important to keep certain thoughts and feelings to yourself in order to maintain balance and avoid overwhelming your partner. Overthinking can lead to a barrage of thoughts that may seem small on their own, but become a constant stream of concerns. For example, a woman might worry about how her man feels about a certain situation or might overanalyze a conversation they had a few days ago. These thoughts are often based on insecurities or assumptions that may not even be grounded in reality. While it's natural to have concerns, sharing every single worry with a partner can create an unnecessary burden. It might even cause him to feel like he has to constantly reassure her, and that's exhausting for both parties. For instance, let's say a woman notices her partner hasn't replied to a text message right away, and she starts to worry that he's upset or losing interest in her. She might replay the last conversation in her mind over and over, trying to figure out if she says something wrong. This is the kind of thought process that often leads to overthinking. It's important for her to recognize that sometimes People get busy or distracted, and a delayed response doesn't necessarily mean anything negative. If she immediately shares this worry with him, it can cause unnecessary tension in the relationship. He might feel that his every move is under scrutiny, which can create frustration or even a sense of suffocation. Keeping these types of thoughts to herself doesn't mean she's hiding something or being dishonest. It simply means she's protecting both her own mental peace and the relationship. It's about allowing space for both partners to be their individual selves without the constant pressure of needing to share every moment of anxiety. There are certain thoughts and insecurities that can be resolved internally or with the help of friends or family, rather than burdening a partner with every small worry. When a woman communicates only the things that are truly important for the relationship, she's allowing her partner to engage with her on a deeper level without being overwhelmed by constant reassurance or concerns that may not even be based on reality. Additionally, there's a certain level of mystery that is important in any relationship. It's often said that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and this applies to thoughts as well. When a woman keeps some of her thoughts and feelings to herself, it creates a sense of curiosity in the relationship. Her partner might wonder what's going on inside her head, and this curiosity can keep the spark alive. Relationships can become stale when everything is shared and there's no room for intrigue. Keeping some things to herself doesn't mean playing games, but rather allowing space for both people to grow individually. This mystery can create deeper, more meaningful conversations because the couple isn't bogged down by trivial details. Another aspect of a woman's thoughts that may be better kept hidden is any impulse to overanalyze the relationship itself. It's not uncommon for women to question the strength or future of a relationship, especially if they're invested in it deeply. However, sharing every doubt and question with her partner can lead to insecurity and confusion. If a woman is constantly asking her partner, "Do you love me?" or "Are you sure about us?" she may inadvertently create a sense of doubt in the relationship, even if there's no real cause for concern. Constantly seeking validation can undermine the confidence that both partners should have in the relationship. Rather than vocalizing every concern about the future of the relationship, it's better for a woman to reflect on these thoughts and analyze whether they're based on facts or fears. If there's a real issue that needs to be addressed, then it should be discussed openly and honestly. However, if the concerns are based on insecurities or fleeting emotions, it's better to keep them to herself or confide in a close friend for advice. Constantly questioning the relationship can lead to unnecessary stress and can even push a partner away. It's essential to have a sense of security and trust in the relationship, which means not overburdening the other person with constant questions or doubts. In some cases, keeping certain thoughts to herself can also protect the emotional well-being of both partners. Sometimes women may have negative thoughts or feelings about their partner that, while valid, might not need to be voiced immediately. For example, if a woman feels upset about something her partner did or said, she might feel the need to express her frustration right away. However, this can often lead to a situation where emotions are running high and things are said in the heat of the moment that aren't necessarily productive. In these cases, it's often better to wait, reflect, and consider whether bringing up the issue will lead to a meaningful resolution or if it will just create unnecessary tension. By taking a step back and processing her thoughts before speaking, a woman can approach the situation in a calm and thoughtful manner. This allows her to communicate her feelings without letting emotions take control. It also gives her the opportunity to consider whether the issue is something that requires immediate attention or if it's something that can be addressed at a later time when both parties are more composed. This approach helps maintain a sense of respect and understanding in the relationship while preventing unnecessary arguments or hurt feelings. There's also an important aspect of self-care that comes with keeping certain thoughts to herself. Women often feel the need to share every aspect of their emotional lives, but sometimes taking the time to reflect on one's own emotions and seeking support from other sources, such as friends, family, or a therapist, can be more beneficial. Women can get overwhelmed by the constant sharing of their feelings, especially if they're not giving themselves the space to process things on their own. By keeping certain thoughts to herself, a woman can prioritize her mental health and avoid putting too much pressure on her partner to be the sole emotional support. In many cases, sharing less can lead to deeper connection and understanding. It's not about hiding things or being secretive, but rather about creating a balance between vulnerability and independence. When a woman shares only the things that truly matter to the relationship, it allows both partners to connect on a deeper level. The constant need to talk about every thought and feeling can sometimes overwhelm a relationship, and maintaining a sense of individuality helps both partners grow. Furthermore, keeping some thoughts to herself doesn't mean avoiding important conversations. If there's a genuine issue or concern that needs to be addressed, it's important to communicate that openly. However, not every fleeting worry or minor concern needs to be expressed. A woman can choose to prioritize the important issues that need attention, rather than sharing every single thought that enters her mind. This helps maintain a sense of balance and ensures that the relationship remains healthy and fulfilling for both partners. In the end, the key to maintaining a successful relationship lies in understanding the power of silence and reflection. It's important to recognize that not every thought needs to be shared, and that some things are better kept to oneself. By choosing when and how to communicate, a woman can protect her mental peace, create a sense of mystery, and ultimately foster a stronger, more fulfilling relationship. When it comes to relationships, financial discussions can be a tricky area. Money has the potential to cause tension, whether it's related to spending habits, financial goals, or just the overall level of transparency between partners. While it's absolutely necessary to have discussions about finances in a serious relationship, some aspects of a woman's financial situation are better left undisclosed. By hiding certain financial details, a woman can preserve her independence and maintain a healthy dynamic in the relationship. Financial independence is a cornerstone of any successful relationship. It's essential for both partners to maintain their own sense of financial security, and a woman who is financially independent is often more respected by her partner. This independence allows her to contribute to the relationship without feeling like she's relying on her partner for everything, which in turn fosters a sense of equality and respect. When it comes to hiding certain financial details from her partner, the goal isn't to deceive him, but to protect that sense of autonomy. For example, a woman may want to keep certain financial struggles or challenges private, especially if they are not directly related to the relationship. If she is dealing with a personal debt or a financial hardship that doesn't impact her partner, it might be better to keep that information to herself. While she may eventually want to discuss it if it becomes relevant, there's no need to share every single financial detail immediately. When a woman reveals every financial worry or shortcoming, it can create a sense of pressure in the relationship, as her partner may feel obligated to help or rescue her. This can lead to an imbalance of power, where one person feels responsible for the financial well-being of the other. On the other hand, if a woman is financially secure and has achieved a level of financial stability, there's no need to constantly remind her partner of her success. If she's doing well financially, that doesn't mean she needs to flaunt her wealth or talk about it all the time. Constantly sharing the details of her financial success can create unnecessary tension or resentment in the relationship, especially if her partner feels like he's not at the same level. It can also lead to a situation where the partner feels inferior or pressure to match her financial status, which is neither healthy nor productive. Maintaining some level of financial privacy can also prevent unnecessary arguments or misunderstandings. Let's say a woman is saving for a large purchase, such as a vacation, a new car, or even a home. If she doesn't feel the need to share every detail of her savings plan with her partner, it allows her the space to make decisions on her own terms. This doesn't mean she's hiding something or being dishonest, but rather that she's taking ownership of her own financial decisions. If she feels that the purchase will eventually affect the relationship, she can discuss it when the time is right, but there's no need to discuss every step of the process beforehand. Constantly discussing finances, particularly when it comes to personal savings, can lead to unnecessary stress or micromanaging within the relationship. Moreover, it's not just about big purchases. Women often have smaller financial decisions that can be equally important, but don't need to be shared immediately. For instance, buying clothes or treating herself to a small luxury item may not be something that needs to be discussed with her partner. If her partner has a tendency to scrutinize her spending habits, it can create a dynamic where she feels like she's being judged for every decision she makes. This can lead to feelings of resentment and discomfort. By keeping some of these smaller financial decisions to herself, a woman can maintain a sense of control over her finances and avoid unnecessary scrutiny. Another important aspect of financial privacy is the protection of personal assets. If a woman has savings, investments, or properties that are solely her own, there's no need to share every detail of these assets with her partner. While it's important to have conversations about shared finances, there's no obligation to disclose every personal financial asset. In many cases, financial independence means having the ability to make decisions without needing approval from a partner. For example, a woman may decide to make a large investment or purchase a property on her own without needing to consult her partner. This allows her to maintain control over her financial future without feeling like she's bound by another person's opinions or expectations. Of course, if the relationship becomes more serious, there will come a point where discussing combined finances becomes necessary. But this doesn't mean that every aspect of a woman's personal financial history needs to be revealed. It's important to keep some things private, especially if they are related to past financial decisions that don't have any bearing on the current relationship. If a woman made financial mistakes in the past, such as accumulating credit card debt or taking out a loan that she's still paying off, there's no need to bring those up unless they're directly relevant to the current financial situation. Constantly rehashing past mistakes can make her feel ashamed, and it can also create unnecessary tension in the relationship. One of the reasons why financial independence is so important is that it gives a woman the freedom to make decisions without feeling tied to her partner's financial situation. If a woman is constantly discussing her partner's financial situation or feeling pressure to explain every purchase she makes, it can create a situation where she feels like she's not in control of her own life. This imbalance can lead to resentment, as both partners may begin to feel like they're being scrutinized for every financial decision. Maintaining some level of financial privacy allows for greater independence and a more balanced relationship. Financial privacy also allows a woman to maintain her sense of self-worth. When a woman is constantly defending her financial decisions or justifying her spending, it can lead to a sense of insecurity. She may start to feel like her financial decisions aren't respected, and that can erode her confidence. By keeping certain financial matters to herself, she's able to maintain a sense of control and autonomy over her life. She doesn't have to explain or justify every decision, and that gives her the space to make choices that are in her best interest without feeling judged. This sense of financial privacy can also protect the relationship from unnecessary conflicts. Money is often a source of tension in many relationships, and by keeping some aspects of finances private, a woman can prevent the relationship from becoming fixated on money. If the couple is always talking about finances, it can lead to a sense of monotony and frustration. Financial discussions should be strategic and goal-oriented, not constant or exhaustive. By keeping some details to herself, a woman can keep the conversation focused on the bigger picture rather than getting bogged down by every little detail. Finally, hiding some financial details can also preserve the dynamic of the relationship. If a woman is constantly discussing every financial decision with her partner, it can create a situation where both partners feel like they need to be involved in every decision. This can lead to a sense of dependence or a lack of autonomy within the relationship. By maintaining financial privacy, a woman allows both herself and her partner to have their own financial lives while still being able to come together to discuss shared goals. This allows for greater freedom and mutual respect within the relationship, and it fosters a sense of partnership rather than dependence. The goal is not to deceive or hide things out of malice, but rather to create a healthy balance where both partners feel financially secure and independent. Keeping certain financial details private can protect a woman's autonomy, preserve her sense of self-worth, and prevent unnecessary conflicts in a relationship. It also allows for better communication about financial goals and decisions, rather than bogging the relationship down with every single financial detail. In the end, financial privacy is an essential aspect of a healthy, balanced, and successful relationship.